our universe. In this lesson, we are going to learn about stars, planets, moon, and the earth. Stars. You all have seen thousands of stars twinkling in the sky at night. They may look very close, but actually they are very far away from us. The Sun is the nearest star. It is about 150 million kilometers away. After the Sun, the next nearest star is 42 billion kilometers away. Stars are hot glowing balls of fire. They produce their own light all the time. But during this day, due to the bright light of the Sun, the light of the stars is dimmed out. So, stars cannot be seen during daytime. The Sun is a star because it gives off light all the time. It is made up of hot glowing gases which produce very bright light. Planets. Stars are not the only bodies seen in the sky at night. There are a few other bodies which give off light continuously but do not twinkle. These bodies are called planets. They form a part of the Sun's family. Planets do not produce light of their own. These bodies are called planets. They form a part of the Sun's family. Planets do not produce light of their own. They only reflect the sunlight. The Earth is one of the planets which move around the Sun. Each planet moves around the Sun on its own path called an orbit. The orbits are kind of circular paths with the Sun as their center. The orbits of different planets do not cross each other. Each planet remains in its own orbit. The Sun and its planets together form the solar system. There are 8 planets in the solar system. These are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Our Earth is third. Till recently, Pluto was considered as the 9th planet of the solar system, but it is now classified as a dwarf planet. Moon revolves around a planet, that is Earth. Like the planets, moons do not have their own light, but reflect sunlight. The light which is reflected by moon is known as moonlight. The Earth. Our Earth did not always look like this. In fact, long ago there was no Earth at all. Scientists believe that the Earth started as a large ball of burning gases. Millions of years as it slowly became cooler, and as it cooled, it hardened slightly and its surface began to wrinkle like a dried plum. The wrinkles became mountain ranges. Water from the rain settled in the low-lying places, depressions, to form oceans, seas, rivers, and lakes. The continents and the oceans, as we see them today, were formed after many changes. A layer of hard rocks covers the Earth. This is called the Earth's crust. Below the crust is basalt, then a mixture of rocks and metals, and below that there are metals in molten form. The molten metals and gases lying in the center of the Earth expand due to the great heat, and they exert great pressure from inside to force themselves out of the Earth's crust. They are not able to get out easily, but at places where the Earth's crust is weak, the molten material gushes out with great force. It goes up high and then falls down, forming a mountain or a cone. Such a mountain is called a volcano. The molten material thrown out is called lava, while the hole in the center of the volcano is called a crater. Volcanoes. There are three kinds of volcanoes. Active volcanoes erupt often. Dormant, sleeping volcanoes are those which have not erupted for a long time. Extinct volcanoes have not erupted for thousands of years. The movements of the earth, day and night. The earth always spins on its own axis from west to east. This spinning of the earth causes day and night. The axis is an imaginary line going through the earth, joining the north and south pole. The axis of the earth is not vertical but leans at an angle, tilted. The spinning of the earth on its axis is called rotation. The earth spins very fast. It takes 24 hours, one day, to complete seasons. While the earth spins on its axis, it also moves around the sun. The orbit on which the earth travels around the sun is oval in shape. The movement of the earth around the sun is called revolution. The earth takes 365 days to complete one revolution. This is called the solar year. The earth is divided into two equal halves by an imaginary line which runs halfway down at the center and at right angles to the axis. The imaginary line which divides the earth into these two halves is called the equator. In addition to the equator, there are two more imaginary lines. The upper half is called the northern hemisphere and the lower half the southern hemisphere. The line in the northern hemisphere is called the Tropic of Cancer and one in the southern hemisphere is called the Tropic of Capricorn. These two lines lie between the equator and the two poles. As we have learned, the Earth's axis is tilted at an angle, and as the Earth travels round the Sun, the axis remains tilted in the same direction. It also has longer hours of daylight, longer days and shorter nights. The result of this is that at certain times of the year, the northern hemisphere is bent towards the Sun. The southern hemisphere is away from it. And at other times, the southern hemisphere is inclined towards the sun and the northern hemisphere is away from it. The hemisphere which is inclined, tilted toward the sun gets the sun rays directly and so is warmer than the other. When the sun's rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer, the northern hemisphere has summer while the southern hemisphere has winter. Similarly, when the sun's rays fall directly on the Tropic of Capricorn, it is summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the northern hemisphere. This is how seasons are caused. The sun's rays fall directly on the equator throughout the year, and therefore the days and nights are equal at the equator. Stars shine because a star's energy source lies deep within it. The star we see in the night sky are only a part of huge star cloud which is known as galaxy. They shine for millions of years. Different patterns of stars are visible in the night sky. We call them constellation. There are some interesting facts about our solar family. Smallest planet Mercury, brightest planet Venus, living planet Earth, red planet Mars, largest planet Jupiter. A planet have ring around them Saturn. A planet covered with blue-green gases Uranus. Farthest planet Neptune. Effects of seasons on the lives of plants and animals. Animals and plants are also affected by the seasons. Animals which have thick hair or fur can withstand the cold, but others like frogs and snakes burrow themselves underground so as to keep themselves warm. Plants' life also responds to the changes in seasons. Many small plants bloom and dry before summer. Plants' life also responds to the changes in seasons. Many small plants bloom and dry before summer.